Just at the Blood River Museum. Oh, I don't know if it is a museum. There's a shop and there's a couple of little things to look at here. Looks like the old blunderbuss they would have used against, we're talking 1838. Okay. 1838, when this took place, the Battle of Blood River. I've left my, that's a sort of shield that Aidan and I were looking at ordering to take home with us. Yeah, I don't really want to sit in. These are all the foot trekkers who were murdered at that place we went to with our school excursion. I thought it was called Jinjin Shlovu, but yeah, I don't want to get involved in that. Okay, there's a Bible. This is what it's all about. They made a covenant. Anyway, we're going to go down to the monument, but I think I'll get a mug. So, I'm at Blood River. Not Bow River, Blood River, or Bloedrivier, the holy place of Afrikanerdom. Now, I have been here before, and it's got to be more than 50 years ago. As school kids, we came here. I guess this was here then. I'm sure it was. This is before we get down to the battle site. This is the monument. It was put here in 1928, so it would have been ready for the centenary of the battle. The Ulvenen, 16th of December, unveiled in 71. Oh, actually, no. Okay, it was unveiled in 71. I say it would have been here on me. Yeah, for sure. When we came on the school bus, it was here. I don't remember it. I only remember the battle site. Now, I've done an episode, or I've talked about the Battle of Blood River on one of my episodes. There they are. The Boer men, no women. Women are making rusks and cleaning the muskets, but the men have climbed up. They're looking upwards, and they're okay. This was originally in the centre of the lager. Was moved to this site in 71. I don't know what that means. Essentially, they said to God, "Give us a victory, and we'll make this a holiday. I'll remember you every year on this holiday." So in the days I lived here, and it has been mentioned, it was a big day, the 16th of December. Like, it was the day of the Covenant. You think they'd have some wording of the Covenant in here, but they don't. Okay. Yeah, it was always a big day. The Afrikaners got their flags out. A lot of hoo-ha. Of course, these days, it has to be done respectfully. A lot of security get in here, and it tells you if you're going to wear a gun, keep it concealed, because understandably, this is Zulus now. They own this land. Well, they always did. But you know, they're going to be sensitive about what happened here. So we'll stop recording till we're approaching the wagons. We're approaching the lager. Big open land here, Zulu land. Hills in the distance, but I can imagine when a Zulu impi was coming at you, you would have seen them from a long way away. Whether they ran in formation or they ambled along, I'm not sure, but you'd think that they were in a close-knit formation, maybe singing, maybe chanting, revving themselves up for what's coming. Christ, don't tell me we've got to walk from here. No. Well, maybe we can turn around. I see a bit of a plinth over there, not sure what that is. What's it say? Oh, there's a stone cabin. Well, there's some tyre marks. I don't know why. Oh, you can see stuff on the way, I suppose. Just letting you know it's 35 out there, but a very comfortable, air-conditioned, controlled climate in here. So as school kids, okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. School kids, we came here on the bus, and we probably stopped maybe somewhere around here. There is reading along the way if one is so inclined. Dingansstad. Yeah, the bus stopped. We got out as kids. We were full of beans and energy, and I remember running at these wagons, imagining that I was a Zulu, racing with my assegai to assegai the people in the lager, the Boers. Oh, I mean, this is real typical of even getting here. Like, this is one of their big national monuments, and the potholes were atrocious. Atrocious. So, and even this approach, I don't know why we couldn't go the other road. Anyway, we're going to park here. Because who's going to walk all that way, eh? So a place I haven't been to for could be 50 years, could be a bit more, around about that. But yeah, we were real excited when we got here as school kids. Let's get out. Clouds covers come over slightly, so that's good. Taking away some of that humidity. So yeah, there's these wagons. I think they're made out of bronze. Let's have a good look here. The Battle of Blood River. What a great name, isn't it? Die Slag van Bloedrivier. Impie Jasenkome. Was dawn. 464 voortrekkers and several blacks, surrounded by a Zulu force of 16,000 men. Across the river stood the main Impi, the White Shields, under the command of Maela, to watch the progress of the attack launched by the Yankee Impi's Red and Black Shields. To the south by Donga, on the east by a reed-covered hippo pool with a marshy pan. Temples mainly from the north and west. The orders of Commandant Anglice Pretorius. The voortrekkers waited until the Zulu were close to the wagons before firing their muzzle loaders and cannons. When the gun smoke lifted, the enemy had retreated. There you got the story, more or less. Even having said that, it must have been terrifying in this lager. Although John Wayne said, you form the wagons, but it must have been terrifying. You You knew what the Zulus were going to do if they got to you. There'd be no survivors. Men, women, babies. They were going to slaughter you. And, you know, what happens if the main gun jammed or something? You know, it wasn't a given, I suppose. They had encounters with the Zulus before where they had been beaten by the Boers. There's no guarantee. But, there's a donga over there. Just in the distance over there is what they call a donga. That's like erosion, or the river bed goes through there, and perhaps at the back of this enclosure is a small river. I don't think it's a big river, and it ran red with blood. Now these things are, yeah, that's heavy duty bronze or brass. And then the Boers had these things, which must have been terrifying for the poor old Zulus. And they probably packed it with grape shot. And we got here our old Grietje. That's a British naval gun. She ended up in Heidelberg, donated to the museum in Pretoria in 1894. And it's in the Voortrekker Monument now, the original. You can see it's quite a big lager, but as it said, there were about 500 Boers in here, and you can imagine the sound and the smoke and the gunpowder and the screaming of the Zulus from outside. You know, there would have been men screaming in agony, and other men urging them on to attack, and again and again. And I think they were told not to do this. I think the king said to his son, "Don't attack a lager, will you? This is the vow. My brothers and fellow countrymen, we stand here now for a moment before a holy God of heaven and earth to make a promise to him. If he would give us our protection, his protection, be with us and give our enemy into our hands, so that we may defeat them. We shall pass the day and date each year as an anniversary and a year of thanksgiving in his honour like a Sabbath. We promise that we shall build a temple to his honour. It shall please him, and that we shall tell our children. They may share in this with us, to remembrance, also for rising generations, so that the glory of his name may be sanctioned thereby, and the glory and honour of victory given to him." There you go, the covenant. This is the centre of the lager. Big open land here. I mean, I don't know, those hills and mountains over there, maybe that's where the British fought them, at Isildwana and Rorke's-Drift and some of the other battlefields, Kambula, Ulundi. Pat might take me to some of those places later on in the week. He's out with a group today at Speenkorp. He asked me if I wanted to go, but there's a whole group of people come from the game camp, and he's... I said, nah, I want to do it on my own, with a guide. A whole group of people. The back side of this is another deep donga. You can see that. So actually that looks like the where a river would have flown through. It probably still does when it rains. That's quite a view, isn't it? That's brilliant. That'd make a great photo, all the wagons. But that's probably what they call Blood River now. What was I thinking? here as a kid. Who was I talking to on the bus? Bus would have come the same way that I came today. Yeah. I was just thinking, you know, these voortrekkers in their wagons. This is, well, it's open land here, but the land along the road to get here, lots of little thorn trees and, you know, dongars and rocks. You know, they were in these wagons with a view to finding somewhere to live, finding somewhere they wouldn't be harassed, somewhere they could practice their religion. And was there a third gun here? There's some confusion whether there was another gun, but probably. You can see the donga. So I was just thinking, you know, like, you couldn't, they knew that they were in for it would be backbreaking. And to start civilization in a place like this, the wild animals, thorn trees, you're miles from anywhere, and you're in hostile land. Look at that. That could be the Donga where they were hiding, the Zulus. Or maybe that's the river that ran red. I was thinking on the way in there, like, in those days you couldn't sort of go to Andries Pretorius, the leader of this expedition, and say, listen, Mr. Pretorius, look, I've been feeling a bit down and out lately. I'm a bit depressed. Is it alright if I don't get involved in the backbreaking work of establishing a civilized outpost? You know, or I've got a thorn in my foot a while back and I'm finally limping a bit. Is it alright if I have some time off? Kind of like that. Mushroom. This is a good mushroom. I think you could just call in and say, I'm depressed, I'm going to fight this. Sit it out. One of the wagons with the women. And I think that would cut it. This is where I would have run, yeah, for sure. I would have run. I remember it being long grass. They had a good shop here. They had a few goodies I could get for people at home. There we go, the Bronze Wagon Lager. King Dingaan's powerful Zulu army and a group of voortrekker men led by Andries Pretorius engaged in battle here on the banks of the Nkome River, known as the Battle of Blood River. It influenced the course of South African history. In the 1960s, they decided to make 64 of them in a D shape that includes whip barriers, lanterns. Every wagon was modelled exactly like the Johanna van der Merwe centenary replica. The wagons were cast by Universal Iron and Steel Foundries, sprayed with sand to clean the surface. It was unveiled on 16th of December 1971 by the Prime Minister, old BJ Vorster. That's that brute I couldn't stand. So, wow. That means when I came, it was real new. It was probably only a couple of years old. I thought they were a bit shiny back then. They look good now though. Okay, and when it says D shape, well I suppose the back is straight because that's the back against the river, and then you've got the curve of the wagons here. Wow. If you want to know more, you look up the Battle of Blood River. It did. It changed history. You know, they never trusted the blacks to start with, I suppose. And then they made that covenant, they made that treaty with Dingaan. Once again, you'll find an episode on it, but they go to Dingaan to pick up the papers for... Dingaan was going to give them some land, invites them in for a party. Who doesn't love a party? Once he's got them in the enclosure, the kraal, he yells, "Kill the wizards." And the Boers have been convinced that they need to leave their weapons at the gate because it's a friendly affair. And they're all dragged off and clubbed to death. That's Piet Retief and his men. And they then, the Zulus, launch the Night of Tears, where they go out and they try and find the women and children that Retief left behind and the old people, and they put them to the sword, or the assegai. So you can understand the Boers. They didn't trust the Zulus, and they didn't trust the blacks. And so this was their affirmation that God was on their side, I suppose, and that formed their thinking over the next, 200 years, you know, of South Africa, or less than 150, let's say. So yeah, history was made here. Now this wasn't the last encounter they had with the Zulus. The Zulus, I think, actually scored a couple of victories against them. The Zulus found here that you don't attack a lager. Grab them on the hop if you can get them in the open, even if they're on their horses. Then you can win a victory against them. And the Zulus did that. You know, there's lots of those riverbeds and dongas around here. I can see more over there where you can hide in. That's what happened at Isildwana. We'll probably go there tomorrow. The British didn't see all the Zulus sitting patiently in this big donga. Alright, that'll do me. I didn't go too deep into it because it's not really my thing. I wanted to come back, as I said, because of the connection with me being a kid. In probably 1973, I think. We came from the Park Hotel. If you saw the episode in Brakpan, I was living at the Park Hotel when Dad signed the papers and let me go on this school camp to Blood River and other places, which I might be able to get to. Alright, well this is a great episode, so I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll make my way back to the hotel room now, or to the village I should say, to Kwakunje. I've booked to stay at the Battlefields Museum, the Battlefields Lodge, because I could only get 4 nights at Kwakunje, and I'm kind of glad that I did, because yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's okay, but it's not great. And haven't I been shone on by luck again, because I was going to bite the bullet and book online and stay at the Rorke's Drift Luxury Hotel. It was about $450 a night, but I thought, you know what, I'm on holidays and I've always wanted to stay there right in the heart of the Buffalo River and the battlefield luxury, you know. So I rang them yesterday to book a room for 4 nights, and they didn't get back to me. I tried ringing again a couple of times this morning. They didn't get back to me. Finally, they messaged me on WhatsApp and they said the hotel has gone belly up. The owners have decided to close it indefinitely. It's unlikely it will open again. So, you know, if I'd have booked 6 months ago or a month ago and sent them my deposit, or even if I'd have booked online, because their website was still up last night. So thank God I didn't do that, eh? So we'll be staying at the Battlefield Lodge, which is considerably less. It's 700 Rand a night, which is about $60. So I'll be saving some money. And they got a swimming pool there, so, and a restaurant. So, all right, kids, let's get out of here. I think that's interesting. You can read that. Italini. What I was saying about the Zulus in the long grass, if they could get you in the open, they had a chance. Okay. This stone can. Okay, yeah, sorry. This stone can was laid here in 1938, so the 100-year anniversary. You can see there, they've got the wagon wheels, the indentation. So 100 years after the battle, they had a big remembrance here. I don't know, there's some more wagon tracks, there's some people's feet. I don't know, there's some horseshoes. I don't know who they are. It's all in Afrikaans. But yeah, it was a big celebration 100 years after the Great Trek. And you know, there would have been every year after the Dutch left the Cape Colony. There's a few names. Orange Free State, 1938. Every year, you know, after the Great Trek, there would have been memorials and things happening to remember 100 years since the trek. So the 100-year anniversary of the Battle of Blood River would have been a big occasion, no doubt.